Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of Season 4, Episode 5 of Lucha Underground. And this episode is called Sacrificio, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I just got done, finished watching the episode. And I gotta say, this week's Lucha Underground, this week's episode, very good episode. Much better than last week, which last week's episode was a mixed bag episode to me, where we had two squash matches and two good matches. But this week's episode was an improvement over last week's episode, in my opinion. And we had four matches for this episode, just like last week. And what I really liked about this episode was it focused on the matches for an Ancient Aztec Medallion, and that's what this episode mainly focused on. Or K2 was the Ancient Aztec Medallion angle. So, and I gotta say, this week's Lucha Underground episode was better than Raw and SmackDown this week, which both shows were terrible. And, you know, Lucha Underground and NXT were the two better shows this week. So, but the episode started off with Cortez Castro in the ring. He's holding a kendo stick. Antonio Cuteo tells the whole crowd that that Cortez Castro is a cop, and Antonio says to Castro, you know, he ends up telling him he would like to report a homicide or a sacrifice. And when you hear that, you know Matanza is going to end up coming out. So Matanza comes out. The match got underway. Matanza Cuteo versus Cortez Castro. This was basically a squash match. It was a nothing match. Matanza ends up coming in. Castro attacks Matanza with kendo stick shots, but Matanza ends up getting the upper hand and pinning Cortez Castro. And like last week, where we saw it, Mr. Spectacular, Cortez Castro ends up, you know, disappearing because lightning comes, and you know Cortez Castro is out of the ring, just like what happened to Mr. Spectacular last week. So Matanza ended up sacrificing two guys, Mr. Spectacular and Cortez Castro. I wonder who's next that Matanza's going to sacrifice. Famous B? Big Bad Steve? Just have to wait and see. But I was just throwing out those two names. I was being sarcastic though, because I think what they're going to do is they're just going to give any luchador who has never won a match, they're going to put him against Matanza. Matanza's going to defeat them, and then they're going to be sacrificed. That's how I see them, you know, taking this whole storyline. But I may be wrong on that. Lucha Underground, you know, is never predictable, and you know, it never disappoints. So, but all in all, Matanza versus Cortez Castro, squash match, nothing special happened in the match. Then we had Ivelisse versus Joey Ryan. This was for one of the Ancient Aztec Medallions. And this was an okay match. It was back and forth between Ivelisse and Joey Ryan. When the match starts, you had Joey Ryan try to make Ivelisse touch his penis. She ends up slapping him. Joey Ryan ends up shoving Ivelisse down. Joey Ryan then used his chest hair as a weapon, but Ivelisse ended up firing back with head scissors and chops. And you had at the end of the match, Ivelisse ended up countering a powerbomb because Joey Ryan was going for a powerbomb. Ivelisse ended up countering it. She ended up, laying strikes, kicks. She ended up hitting the code red for the win. So Ivelisse ends up winning the match, wins an Ancient Aztec Medallion. So, but the match itself, it was an okay match. So, and then the next was another match for an Ancient Aztec Medallion, and it was a trios match with the trios champions, who are Son of Havoc, Killshot, and the Mack. And before the match got underway, Antonio Cueto ends up coming out, says that he will make this match greater, and he makes this match and he puts 2 medallions on the line. And the man who loses this match leaves with nothing, doesn't get a Aztec medallion. So the match got underway, and this was a good match, and it was a good fun match, and the crowd was hot for this match. They were behind all 3 of these guys, all 3, because they're the trios champions. But at the end of the match, you had the Mack win the match because Killshot ended up hitting a double stomp to Son of Havoc, and the Mack then ends up hitting a stunner on Killshot, and he has to choose who to pin because Killshot and Son of Havoc were both down. And so the Mack decides to pin Killshot because to get his revenge on what happened at Aztec Warfare. So the Mack ends up winning the match. And so Killshot doesn't get anything, doesn't get a Aztec medallion. So the medallions went to the Mack and Son of Havoc. And at the end of the match, we see Killshot pissed about what happened, and he slaps the medallion down. And this is we see in Killshot turning heel. This is continuing his heel turn, which it shows that Killshot only cares about himself, and it's a bad thing because it will be bad when the trios champions have to defend the titles. So it's not looking good for the trios champions if this with Killshot turning heel. So the trios championships, when they defend them, they're going to be in jeopardy. The trios championships. So where they take this, I am looking forward to it, and it's really cool seeing Killshot's still going with his heel turn, continuing his heel turn. So, but all in all, the match was a good match, fun match, and the crowd was really behind all 3 guys in this match. Gotta give it. I really wanted, wanted the Mack to win this match, and I liked that he won the match. So, but yeah, it was a good match. Very, very fun match. Sorry about that. And the next match was the main event. It was Cage versus Mil Muertes for Ancient Aztec Medallion. And this match, it was a crazy match. This was a really good match, very entertaining. The crowd was hot for this match also. These 2 guys, very, 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 very good in this match. And I gotta say, Katrina looked really stunning in that red dress that she wore and red high heels. she looked stunning because Catrina actually came out with Mil Muertes. And Muertes, the beginning of the match, he took early control of the match. Cage ended up firing back, drops him with a Lateris, I think that's how you pronounce it. Went to the floor. They continued to brawl on the floor. Cage is just laying in chops to Mil Muertes, slams him into the barricade. Catrina then distracts Cage, and it led to Muertes, slamming Cage into some chairs. And what was really funny was Cage ends up cutting him off. And this was the cool part where we saw Cage suplex Muertes from the second rope, and it was an amazing suplex. Went for the counter. It was a 2 count. Muertes then fired back, and Muertes, he was going for a spear to Cage, but Cage ended up moving out of the way. Muertes then speared the ref, and Cage then hit a rat. A new ref ended up coming in. Cage got a 2 count, and the new ref, Cage takes out the new ref that came in. Muertes hit a flatliner on Cage. New ref ends up coming in, gets a 2 count. Muertes gets a 2 count. Muertes is not happy with that. He ends up choke slamming the third ref because Lucha Underground only has 3 refs. So Muertes ended up choke slamming the last ref that came out. Cage then hits a inverted suplex. Cage then, follows with the tope. And then it went back on the floor. Cage ends up cutting off Muertes. They end up brawling. Muertes hits a clothesline, gets a chair. That's when Cage ended up cutting him off. Then what was really cool was Pentagon Dark was in the crowd in a disguise, and he then attacked Cage from behind, and he just laid Cage out with a really sick, brutal chair shot to the head. It was really brutal. And then they went back in the ring, Cage and Muertes. Muertes then hit a flatliner on Cage for the win. So Mil Muertes wins the match. Muertes gets a Ancient Aztec Medallion. So now there are 6 people who won, 6 luchadores who won the Aztec Medallions. First one, it was El Dragon Azteca Jr. Then it was King Cuerno, Ivelisse, which won it tonight. The Mack and Son of Havoc also won it in this episode. And now Mil Muertes holds the 6th one. So there's one Aztec Medallion that's on the line. Who's going to participate in the match? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So, and then after the match, Pentagon Dark, he ends up mocking Cage for losing the match, and he says next week, Pentagon says to Cage that next week, both those guys, both him and Cage will do battle for the Lucha Underground Championship. And Pentagon says he will walk out the champion again, and Cage will leave with a broken arm. So, and that's what happened after the match. And this was good, Pentagon getting his revenge on Cage, and really liked how it's setting up their match for next week, which I know it's going to be a really awesome match. It's going to be a crazy match between Cage and Pentagon. Really looking forward to that next week's episode. So, And then after that, we saw the Rabbit Tribe. Masqueria Sagrada meets with them. He ends up taking them to meet the elusive White Rabbit, who is revealed to be Killer Cross. And the Rabbit Tribe asks Killer Cross for his guidance, and that they will offer him anything. And Killer Cross wants them to prove it by killing Masqueria Sagrada. So Killer Cross ends up giving Paul London a staff, which was like this long, like it looked like a stick. So Paul London then smashes Masqueria Sagrada's head, and we see the blood go all over Paul London, which looked like fruit punch or jam that went over his all over his face. So yeah, so that happened. Paul ended up smashing Masqueria Sagrada's head with the staff, and by Paul London doing that, Killer Cross was pleased. So that's how the episode ended. But it was a really crazy ending scene. I'd like to see where this goes for the Rabbit Tribe now. So, but yeah, so that's it for my review of season 4, episode 5 of Lucha Underground, called Sacrificio. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. So definitely give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until the next video, I'll see you all later.